Welcome to the Two-Way Street podcast with Rick Harris of Work Boot Consulting and Rob Berry of St. Louis Bath and Renovations. Our aim is to bridge the gap between contractors and consumers. Remember, communication is always a two-way street.
Hey, it's Rick Harris and Rob Berry from the Two-Way Street podcast. Today, I wanted to talk about honesty and transparency. And honesty and transparency from both sides, from the consumer's perspective and from the contractor's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like going, everybody goes to the doctor on a regular basis, right? So if you drink, you smoke, drink coffee, eat bacon, whatever. Do we always tell the doctor exactly how much bacon we eat? Yeah. Do we always tell them how much coffee you drink? Yeah. I remember a friend of mine going to the doctor and the doctor asking him something, and he said, the answer was 67. So the doctor said, what, 6 to 7? He said, yeah, 6 to 7. What's the 67? So this is the thing. So if you are having somebody come to your home or your office to do some work and stuff, you have to be honest about what it is you're looking for, about why you're looking for this, and now how old is that thing that you need fixed, and that sort of stuff. And if you don't know, you say, I'm sorry, I don't know. And being transparent and not trying to, if you're gathering 10 quotes for this $100 repair, let the contractor know that you're gathering 10 quotes for this $100 repair. And if you're open and honest from the beginning? What's the saying about being open and being honest? You don't have to remember what you said.
100%.
Right. Or if you are lying, you have to have a really good memory. So if you're open and honest from the beginning about what it is that you are calling for, or emailing for, or texting, or whatever it is. And some people just want to do texting. We'll talk about that another time. Some people do not want their phone to ring. Much younger people don't. They're horrified when their phone rings.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, most of my kids want to text.
Yeah, just text me. What's wrong? Why are you calling me?
Yeah.
So when it comes to honesty and transparency, be honest and transparent about what it is you're doing. As I got through my career as a contractor and as a business owner, as a tradesperson, I learned how to flush out the people who were just not being open and honest. And it would be people I could pick up when they were looking for an estimate for something, for a home that they wanted to sell. Because the real estate agent or somebody had said, you'd get a whole lot more money, or somebody put it up. If that's what you're calling me for, then tell me. I'm not coming out to look at it, but I'll talk to you on the phone and say, yeah, this is probably what you're looking at. Does that help you out?
Yeah, or you can charge a service fee to go out. Hey,
absolutely.
We charge $179 to do that. We get it. We can help you. We charge $179. That'll cover our costs. And if you decide to put us to work, or the buyer decides to put us to work, you're good to go.
Yeah, I remember getting a call from somebody saying, it was like, my insurance company has requested that I do the following because I have a galvanized water pipe and cast iron drains.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll come out, write up a report for you. And it was right from the beginning. I knew I wasn't there to give them an estimate for replacing it. I was there to do an assessment for the insurance company. And what I did in that case is, there were a couple of things that probably should have been replaced, but because they were open and honest with me from the beginning, I gave it a pass. I helped them out. So with the thought that if they did want those things replaced at some point, we had that conversation. And the hope was that if they wanted us to come back and quote on it, that we would be the company they would call to come do it. But if you are not open and honest and transparent with your contractor, or your contractor is not being open and honest with you from a contractor's perspective. If you're leaving, so I know companies that will take a bid, and it's got that scope of work with the drawings, takeoffs, all the other stuff, all the other things that need to be done. They will see things that are deficiencies, and they know at some point, whether it's fire stops or whatever it is, that will need to be added, and they will intentionally overlook those and not give the person they're bidding the job for a heads up. So they will come in, they will lowball it, and then they have a clause in their contract for extras, and they'll hammer them with those extras.
That's a great point.
An open and honest contractor will see that and say, hey, I just want to bring this to your attention. An open and honest contractor will give an apples to apples comparison on a quote. You want to see my quote? Sure, here's my quote. Show it to the other contractor. If they can match that and it's the exact same quote, exact same company, exact same experience, everything else, then boom, good on them.
So you're telling everybody that's listening that honesty and transparency is the way to be.
Absolutely. Yeah, be transparent.
We shouldn't lie and cheat and steal to get what we want, huh? Yeah.
Well,
if you're honest with people, you don't have to remember much.
No, you don't. And I guess, do you think it's a lack of trust? I think it's a lack of trust that people are open and honest.
Do you mean like when a new contractor comes in to give them a bid? Are you saying that there's a automatic trust issue? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, there's trust. I mean, it's like my brother said, better to beg for forgiveness than ask permission.
Yeah.
But so there is, and this is where we talked about, and this is why I was really on board when you and I had this discussion about that two-way street. There's a lack of trust between contractors and the public, and that's fueled by companies that give you ratings, that feed you leads, that the review sites. Oh, don't trust them. They only have a 4-star. They only have a 4-star review. Well, maybe it's a legit 4-star review. Maybe they had a poo head that did something and wrote a bad review that is completely unjustified. So
poo head's a technical term, everybody. Poo head is a definite technical term for you uninitiated.
or poo-poo pants. Yes. So there is a distrust, and I said this the other day when I was talking to another contractor. I said, you know what we would say when a GC would pop out of the blue and ask us for a price on something? Would you rather plumb or die of? Because there was this distrust. It's like, you've been in business for 30 years. We've been in business for 30 years, and you have never called us. Now all of a sudden you're calling us. Why?
Yeah.
So in that case, if there is that level of distrust, which is assumed, what should you be doing? You should be working on the communication. Hey Rob, thanks for calling. I appreciate you calling. What is it you're looking for? Do that back and forth, that give and take. And from a consumer's perspective too, be open and honest about what it is you're looking for. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I don't want to do this. I don't want a 6-foot fence. I want a 4-foot fence. I don't want top of the line. I just want to do this because we're thinking of selling. I don't want to spend a fortune on this because my father just needs this to temporarily get through the next year of his life because he's in palliative care. So we just want to make some accommodations for him. That kind of thing. Be open and honest about it. Because when a contractor says I want to get a renovation done, automatically renovation to me is $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. But to a homeowner, it could be putting a couple grab bars up. But being honest about what it is you want, and not being distrustful or fearful that the contractor is going to come in and steal your money, because there's just There's so many. I know way more good contractors than I do bad contractors.
Hmm.
I really do. And the bad ones out there, yeah, good contractors hate those individuals with a passion.
Yeah, for the consumers watching, most contractors know other contractors that they wouldn't necessarily refer clients to, because we hear those horror stories too. When we're around the water cooler, or when multiple trades are on a job site and we run into each other and they overlap, we hear those horror stories. We're
Mhm.
with you. The good contractors want to avoid the bad contractors, and we also want to avoid the bad customers as well. So, but exactly what Rick is talking about, honesty. How I convey that. Uh, I want to get the most information from a consumer. If a consumer says, "Hey, Rob, we need a price on a bathroom." Hey, Rick, thanks for reaching out. I need to learn a little bit more about your project first, just to see if we can help. Can you send me 1 or 50 pictures of your existing space so I can get a better understanding? That way we're both looking at the same thing. Most clients are going to say yes. 1 out of 10 or 20 is going to go, you know what, Rob, just give me a price. Rick, I'm sorry, I can't help you if I can't see it. And we'll just come out and take a look at it. Well, no problem, but we charge for that. I'm trying to save you that effort and money right now. I want to see if I can help you. So, because we charge 179 for a service call. And that may be expensive for some of our listeners. That may be too cheap. I don't know, but we have to cover our time. McDonald's costs different than Burger King. You have an expectation there, different levels of service. That's our level of service. We want to know if we can help. So how we try to weed that out of people that we can help is send us a few pictures. Let's have a quick 5-minute chat. And then we know right then if we can help them or if we can't. That's how we open the conversation, with being honest with our clients. And that also asks for a little bit of cooperation from those clients that do reach out. So that gives me a good idea if they really need help. Um, Not that I'm critiquing every single thing that they do, but if they're willing to send me some pictures, that shows me that they want or need help, and I want to help. We're in business to make money, but we want to see who we can take care of, and also get them some information. If we can't help them, Rick, I can't help you. I've got such and such that I want to send you to, and we will refer you to someone else uh, that can help you if we can't. So if you're listening to this and you're a contractor, by being honest, hopefully what I talked to you about there for those few minutes, hopefully that rings a bell or gives you an idea on how you can approach those you can help and those you can't. And for your consumers, hey, just like what Rick was talking about, hey, we want a bathroom model, but I can't spend $10,000. I need a new shower and I need to do this, need to do that. That's going to let your contractor know what you can do. But consumers, that's dangerous territory, because we're asking you to be honest about it. I promise you, it'll be ripping that band-aid off. You'll find out very quickly the contractors that can help you and the contractors that can't.
Yeah, I mean, and those are really, really, really important points to remember. Is from a contractor's perspective, like a trades business owner, or whatever it is you're doing, know your lane, know your niche. If you're a plumbing company and you're trying to compete a company that just does drain cleaning, you're never going to win that battle. It's not going to happen.
Mhm.
So do that as an additional service with a goal to add more value. And from a consumer's perspective, when you're looking for a contractor, make sure that that's what they do. Like, don't ask. I mean, we talked about this before. The foundation repair company that did the washroom renovation. Those are like 1,000 miles apart as far as types of work.
Yeah, very rough kinds of work where if you're within a half inch, you're good, probably a quarter inch. But if you're a drywall finisher or a trim carpenter, a quarter inch isn't acceptable. You're within less than a 16th on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's like that with the whole fable of the duck having a swimming race with the rabbit. It's like, well, the duck's going to win over time. So it's the same type. Know your lane. First, from a profit perspective. And it's from the email. Pick a lane, stay in that lane, but make that lane, like 1,000 miles deep.
Does everybody know what you just said there about Rick was mentioning a book?
Yeah, it's E-Myth by Michael Gerber, and the E-Myth for Contractors by Michael Gerber. But it's knowing your lane and picking that. So a perfect example would be if you want a deck replaced, are you going to call a GC or somebody that just does deck?
Well, and you're not going to pull up to McDonald's and ask for a Big Mac or ask for a yes, you are. You're not going to pull up to McDonald's and ask for a for the big BK special. You're not pulling up to Burger King and asking for a Big Mac. It just that stuff, and I'm being ridiculous on purpose.
Yeah.
Tell the other person what you want. Contractors or consumers, tell the other person what you want. You may not like their price, you may not like their response, but at least it's going to be a quick thing. They're going to tell you right then versus dragging it out for an hour and everybody's an hour older. We don't need that.
Find a specialist. So if you phoned up a GC and said, "Hey, can you build a deck for me?" They're going to say yes. Yeah, we can. It's not a specialty, but that's something we can do. Chances are you're going to, is my opinion, GCs can disagree with me. Like a GC would probably do, you're going to pay more, in my opinion, rather than if you call somebody who just did decks. That's all they did.
Why would the consumer, quick tangent, why would the consumer have to pay a general contractor more to get a deck built versus going directly to a deck builder?
Contractors do what? The contract work out, which probably means you're going to bring a deck company in that you probably should have hired, and the contractor, and they'll take a markup on that. It is very common for contractors. That's what a contractor does. Is they will get the work and they'll contract it to somebody to do it. That's exactly what it is.
But the benefit of that paying more is that we get a professional that knows how to speak to a client and knows how to talk shop to the workers to get things done, to convey what needs to be done, right?
100%. So this is where it's like, so if you're a consumer, don't be your own general contractor. So if you're putting an addition on your house, you turn that over to the GC. That's what they do. They contract the individual trades. But in my opinion, if you want a deck built, you go find somebody that's what they do. They do decks.
As long as that deck company can be honest and transparent, like you talked about earlier on.
Yep.
And that's of course what the podcast is talking about. Can they convey their thoughts and ideas to the consumer in an understandable way that the consumer can identify with it and agree, and then also write you a check? That's why you're there. It's how you feed your kids, keep a roof over your own head. This is how we make money. But how we make money shouldn't be a four-letter word. And that's not to say Rick has 100% satisfied clientele. That's not to say that I have. No. But that's what we're shooting for. Not every person that you deal with is a good fit. But if you're honest and transparent, you're probably going to get to that finish line a lot faster.
Yeah, honest, transparent. And it's just interesting. And I'm not going to throw contractors under the bus that take cash, but you know why they take cash. Because they don't have to pay the taxes, they don't have to do this, they don't do that. If it's a contractor and they're taking cash, chances are they're probably not paying for insurance, they're not paying for their licenses, all the other stuff, which puts you as a consumer at risk, because if that contractor comes in and cuts their leg off, guess who the insurance claim is going against? It's you. Mm-hmm. It's you. Personal claim against you. So this is where you need to do your due diligence as a consumer, but be open and honest, transparent with the individual that you're trying to deal with. And I know there's fear. I totally get that. And with contractors, you have to be open and honest, and consumers, you got to understand this. Contractors are just afraid of you ripping them off as you are them ripping you off.
Yeah, and I think that's perfectly well said. Consumers, don't be bashful about, hey, Rick, when you come to do that, to give me this plumbing bid, I need a price at that time or by X date, and give them your expectations. Hey, this is all I can spend for this. whether you're prepared for it or not, that's okay. If you had some major issue, then that kind of takes that off the table. But you need to be prepared to be able to spend to get that thing fixed. And I know that you guys know that, but be honest about
Yeah.
that. Tell them up front what you expect of that, and then the contractor can say, yes, that's good, and I can do that, or no, and here's why I can't do that. But just be honest so that we can get to the meat of it, so that we can get that job done as a consumer and a contractor. Be honest with what your sales process is and how the workflow is going to go, so that you can give
Yep.
your consumers an idea. In what we do, most of our bathrooms, we're in and out in 5 to 7 working days. And
Mhm.
I say that, and I don't mind if consumers hold my feet to the fire on that, or if they've got a deadline to finish by. Side note, if somebody really holds your feet to the fire, hey, we'll get it done in 7 days per contract. And if you want to pay it, we've got to pay a fine, we reduce the price if we don't, but do we get more if we finish sooner? I know that's kind of ridiculous, but that stuff's out there, especially
Oh, yeah.
especially on the bigger jobs. But I made it ridiculous to catch your attention, so that it's okay to be honest. And not every consumer is a good fit for every contractor, and every consumer out there knows that every contractor is not a good fit for you. We all know that. We're just talking about being honest and transparent.
Yep.
Rick, as we wrap up, what's a takeaway from that? Did you think of anything else as we were talking, or what should we leave our viewers today?
This is about openness and honesty and transparency from the beginning. There is openness, honesty, and transparency as the project continues on, and we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah. Yeah, for something we didn't say, and I think it's important, I can promise you this, as a contractor and as a consumer, if you're honest about what you want, and if you've picked the right contractor, and contractors, if you've picked the right customer, you're going to get from the beginning of the job to the end of the job, most of the time, you're going to get through that much faster, because you were honest and transparent about what you need to do that work for that client, and clients vice versa. You'll get what you want faster if you're honest about it.
It's a give and take. It's a two-way street.
It is a two-way street, but bump.
Thanks, Rob.
This was really informative. I hope that our listeners got something out of that too. But as you send us off, we're hopeful that you contractors got some value from this, and consumers, we hope that we said at least one thing that's going to give you something to think about and get you prepared for that next time that you get someone into your home, stranger into your home, you've invited them over, you want them to be honest and transparent. It's probably going to start with you.
Yep, you bet.
Yeah. Rick, thank you as always.
Okay. See you, Roberto.
See you, Rick.
To get a hold of Rick, go to workbootconsulting.com. To get a hold of Rob, go to sdlbr.com. Remember, communication is always a two-way street.